Should you go vegan? That's a great question. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it is day one, June 1st, 2026. It is the first day that I am challenging myself of the challenge that I am going vegan for the month. This does not sound like a big deal because it really isn't. I think eating anything for a month or doing any diet for a month is super fucking easy and everyone should be able to do it. But, veganism, it comes with a lot of like non-food related stuff. It's like an ethical dilemma, you can say, of why people act a certain way, do a certain thing. And, we have so many thoughts of what like vegans look like and carnivores and, different people that follow different diets and we put them in extreme baskets, which they are, eating vegan versus eating carnivores, two complete opposites of the spectrum. And understandably, they both look like crazy people most of the time to the general mid-curve population. So the reason I'm doing veganism is because of a lot of reasons. I have completely indoctrinated myself and brainwashed myself by taping my eyelids completely open and watching, just back-to-back documentaries on why people should go vegan. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a vegan for life, but I think it's time to try this because I've been thinking about it for probably more than a couple of years. And I've slowly eased off, the amount from, eating a dozen eggs a day to 6 eggs to 1 egg to, like a couple of times a week maybe. And red meat, I've had my periods where I've eaten carnivore. I've had my periods of trying different things, but I've never gone to this side of the extreme. And if you've seen my content before, I talk about food and I talk about kind of binging. I talk about getting lean. I talk about a lot of things that accompanies this thing. And for this one, I just wanted to challenge myself. I'm not trying to use veganism to get me completely ripped and aesthetic and anything like that. I'm just doing this because of the other reasons associated with it. First, I love a fucking challenge. And I think June 1st is the perfect time to challenge yourself to do something new because we're halfway through the year and the next half is going to start. And it's basically like New Year's 2.0 or 1.5, I don't know. Anyways, it is the second half of the New Year's and you get to reset and re-energize. So picking a new diet is just motivating. It's fun, it's challenging. The second thing is thinking about where the food comes from is actually really fucking depressing. In terms of, factory farming, how cows and chickens are raised and just like put up for slaughter, fed a bunch of antibiotics, fed a bunch of shit, just so they can get fat and juicy so that we can have, their udder milk, and which is apparently pus, which is disgusting, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie and be like, milk is disgusting and so is ice cream. I'm not. It's like ice cream is fine. If I don't think of it as pus, I'm not really too worried about it. Even thinking about it as pus, I'm like, it's still kind of refreshing. But it's pretty fucked up. And like in just like a objective way. Like it's just like treating animals shittily is stupid. As somebody who grew up really not liking animals all too much, like I liked, like a cheetah, majestic animals like that. But like wasn't really a fan of any other animals. I didn't eat meat because I hated animals, right? And people don't eat meat because they hate animals. They eat meat because they think it's right. It's protein, it's healthy for you, it's good for you. And that's totally understandable. That's what the government and everybody wants you to think and makes you think, is because we think that, the food pyramid, which we all know is bullshit, is right. Or the RDA requirements for nutrients is what you should strive for. And if you follow bodybuilding, if you follow anything, body composition stuff, you know that you got to hit a certain amount of protein, fats, carbs, things like that. And at the end of the day, we forget that who's putting up all these ads, who's telling us to eat this way. It's like it's the people that are. It's like big farms. It's like the people that are mass producing cows so that we can drink milk and have beef and do all this stuff. I'm not trying to start this Cowspiracy thing, but that is a great documentary to watch because I actually didn't even realize, the environmental impact that factory farming has, and that's also just another video in itself. And anyways, another reason why I think it's crazy and why I think it's time to just try something different. So, challenging opportunity. Second is, it's really sad how they treat animals. And if you can't see that, or if you don't think about it and see how that makes you feel. If that makes you feel like, oh, maybe I can start doing this less, maybe I can stop pushing the suffering of animals less, then great. If you're a hunter and you like do this and it's for your livelihood and it's for your tribe and stuff like that, I'm not telling you to not eat these things. I'm like, do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you just to think a different way. I'm not pressuring anyone. And if you think I'm some extremist, then like take a chill pill, man. It's all not that deep. It's like you got a certain amount of years you get to live. And this might be just like another way to make those more enjoyable without, pushing suffering onto other people or other creatures. So how we treat them, terrible. Obviously, eating a lot more vegetables and fruits and healthy starches is actually really good for you. And I think we've demonized carbs, we've demonized sugar, we've demonized, good sugars, as in just straight up sugar from fruits and vegetables. And so, I think it would do a lot of people good to not be afraid of carbs, because I think keto is bullshit. I think carnivore is bullshit because you're just eliminating carbs, and I don't think you need to do that. So that's interesting. And then you can open up a lot of doors. It's kind of cool to look at the kind of food you can make with the stuff that most of the world eats. It's like, why is North America so different than everywhere else, where we have to have this much meat in every freaking meal and have to do every single thing? But in China, rural China, they're eating rice and vegetables, and they're not eating, the fried shit that we eat all the time. And there's a China study, which is another video, which I can just put a bunch of videos and links down in the description into what you should watch and what you should, if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, because it is very eye-opening. And I'm not like I said, I'm not a hippie. I'm not a freaking tree hugger. I'm not going to, and now as I say, I probably jinx myself and I'm going to be an activist for the rest of my life, but it's a month challenge and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I think I can live without meat and milk and ice cream and chocolate for a month, and I think you can too. And it's just a fun thing to try and do. It opens up your creativity in the kitchen on how to make things, cook things, maybe new salads, and it's just really nice when you're looking at a big bowl of something that has a bunch of different colors and you're like, damn, that shit's got to be good for you, man. And you can point out any study that you want about vegetables are trying to kill you or whatever, but it's just a bunch of bullshit. And it's like, honestly, if we could have just these plates of the perfect macro content and it's made out of non-animal things, I think everyone in the world would eat it. I'm not going to get into the debate about, what our ancestors were eating, because it doesn't really fucking matter. I just want to challenge you to do something new, and there are reasons to try this, and you can follow along if you're interested in this. Or don't, because this channel is about self-improvement, trying new things, pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself, and to live the best life that you can, okay? And this might be another thing that either helps me or goes the other way. So, after a month, if I start feeling like shit and I'm completely sickly and bedridden, then all right, then I won't be a vegan. That's okay. I got to do what's best for me and what's going to be best for my future and longevity. And you need to do the same thing too. I'm just saying how I feel, what I'm thinking. You don't got to do it. But if you can't do something for a month, you're probably a little bitch. Always remember to rep the set. I'll see you in the next one.